Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are bringing you another list of ways we've improved our van this summer. Some things that the list include are ways we've made the van more aesthetically pleasing, some inexpensive upgrades that have made the van more comfortable and functional, and lastly a couple of upgrades that have helped us stay cool on hot days and to keep the bugs out when we keep the doors open at night. So come along on this list with us and we'll show you how you can also improve your van with just a few simple and affordable upgrades. Okay, so the first item on our list of affordable and functional and aesthetically pleasing upgrades to our van are going to be these Backsplash tile stickers. And I want to give Cliff credit because this was his idea and he picked them out. And this upgrade is awesome. Originally, the van came with like very basic wall features, just kind of like off-white color, and so we wanted a way to make the van feel a little bit more like homey and decorative. So Cliff found this item on Amazon. It is one package that comes with 8 sheets of tiles. I want to say they're 8 by 8 inches or 10 by 10 inches, so they come with 8 squares, and they're stickers. Most often you see these like in a home behind like the oven as like a backsplash, but we thought that they would look great in here, and as you can see they do. And similar to like a die cut transfer sticker is how they're applied. So you basically just peel off the back layer starting with the top and you just kind of roll it down and it basically just sticks flat right on. And the sheets are designed so they kind of have a raw edge, and the next sheet fits perfectly in to the raw edge from the first sheet, so you can barely even tell where they overlap. And then we got pretty creative in the back corner over here. I measured where we have some corners that aren't perfectly straight, and then after I applied the sticker I just used an X-Acto knife and cut that out. And like I said before, these packages were only $25, and we used a total of 2 packages to put up the backsplash on both the foot of the bed and on the head of the bed. So for $50 we added all of this custom backsplash, and it instantly made the van feel more like a home than just a house on wheels. So we were really impressed with this upgrade and the quality of this product and how easy it was. I would say it probably took us an hour tops to get the whole thing done, maybe 2 because there was a little troubleshooting with the cutting of the corners. But overall it was really easy, really affordable, and looks great. So if you're looking for a way to make your van feel more like a home, this is definitely a good place to start because it is so easy, it's cheap, and if you order them on Amazon they come in just a couple of days. So I will put the link to these tiles in the description of this video for you to go ahead and click on if you want to get these yourselves. And they also come in multiple colors, so it doesn't have to be like this bluish tone like we got. They have like gray and black and white, so whatever vibe matches your van you can get for yourself. So highly recommend these, and look for that link in the description.
So the next upgrade we made to the van, this is actually going to be a combination of 2 upgrades, but these are both things that we got on Amazon for super cheap. One of them is going to be the paper towel holder, and the other are these is the spice rack. that is a magnet. So basically the spices just slide right into these little sleeves, and then the bottom of the sleeve has a magnet all the way around. The spice slides in here, that, and then there's these sticky magnets that just stick right onto the bottom of the cabinets here, and then these just boop stick right to the bottom of the cabinet. And for the most part, these have stayed on so far. Yeah, so we really like these, and I think these were maybe $15 or $20 on Amazon. And the next upgrade is this paper towel holder, which has been awesome. And it actually is weighted, so when you're driving, it's not gonna, your paper towels aren't just gonna come unrolled, so it stays really well. And this just has a sticker right here, and it's just peel and stick. But I mean, it's solid. Like, that's not, you can see that's not coming off. And then yeah, we've loved this thing so far, because before we just had paper towels just kind of like floating around in the van. But the longer that we have the van, the more we realize how important it is to have everything in its place. We'll definitely put a link in the description to both of these products from Amazon. I think total these are like $30. So great cheap upgrade to the van that has made a huge difference for us so far. Okay, so number 3 in the list of upgrades, relatively inexpensive, I will say, because this next upgrade was not super cheap. It's not really expensive, but it is more than the previous 2 upgrades that we talked about. So the third upgrade is this Dometic faucet. Whoops, I just turned it on. The Dometic faucet, which we made another video about the installation. So if you guys want to go back and watch that, we're going to put a link in the description here, or a link at the bottom of this video to that video. If you guys decide you do want to do this upgrade, we have a full video about how we did it and how we installed it. But this is a Dometic faucet. Basically, it is a USB. Has a little USB charger here, and to charge it you just plug this into the back here, and then this plugs just right in here, and it charges like that. This upgrade was a little more on the expensive side. It was $100 for the faucet, and then I think the tubing that we used was really cheap. It was like $4 or $5, so that wasn't very expensive. But this has made a world of difference. Before we had a hand pump. It made it really hard to wash dishes. It made it hard to wash your hands, things like that. So having this electric faucet, so much better. You can wash your hands under here, do the dishes, whatever. And just you fill up water bottles, and it's just so much better to have that as opposed to the hand pump. So that's something that I highly recommend. I'm not sure how many of you are going to have a hand pump faucet, but if your van does not come with a electric faucet, highly recommend this as an upgrade. It's probably been one of the best upgrades that I've made to the van in the past year. Honestly, it's great. So yeah.
Okay, so the fourth item that we have upgraded in our van this summer is going to be this Arctic Air Tower swamp cooler. We did a lot of research about air conditioning units for the van. We got a lot of recommendations through Wayfarer vans about the air conditioning unit that they offer, as well as portable air conditioning units that other people have purchased for their vans. And after all of our research, we decided that official air conditioning units were just completely out of our price range. They were between $1,000 and $3,000, and that was just a price we really didn't want to spend. So on top of these air conditioning units being extremely expensive, a lot of them require shore power, which means being connected to an electric unit like at a campground. Or they run at a really, really high electricity rate and use pretty much all of our battery. If we were to be like out in the desert or off grid somewhere, and we do have solar, but we didn't want to run the risk of running the battery down or needing access to shore power to be able to run the air conditioning unit, because most of the times that we need an air conditioning unit, we don't have access to those things. So we decided to explore the option of this Arctic Air Tower. We picked this up at Ace Hardware for $130, and it is essentially like an oscillating fan. It has multiple settings for how high you want the fan to blow, and then it also has a water cooler unit in the back where you can add water, and it also came with an ice pack. We don't have a freezer, so I don't know how often we'll use that, but as long as you just put cold water in here, it'll basically blow this cooling mist along with the oscillating fan. So we can just crack the windows so that it doesn't get too like damp in here with the mist. And then we run our max air fan right above it to pull out some of the moisture. And we feel pretty confident that this is going to be a great alternative to an expensive air conditioning unit. Based on the amount of power that it uses plugged into our power station and with the solar panels up top, through our test runs, our battery was still at 100% after running it for about an hour and a half. So we feel that this is a really, really good option to get us started and see how cool we can stay. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and we learned this pretty quickly, so if you were considering buying one of these, keep your eye out for it. Inside of the water holder is this blue tube, and this is where the drainage comes out from back into the water tank. And it is really important to make sure that this tube stays inside of the water tank. We didn't realize this at first, and the very first time we filled it, we pulled the tank out too far, and the tube fell behind the tank, and we had to unscrew all of these bolts and pull the whole back plate off to get this tube back into the water holder. And we ended up looking it up on YouTube. We're not the only ones that have dealt with this issue, so that's why I just wanted to bring this up right away. If this is something you were interested in, make sure this tube is draining out right into the water holder, and that way the water holder also closes flush. That's how we noticed that it had fallen out, because it wasn't closing all the way. Again, this is the Arctic Air Tower. It is essentially a swamp cooler, and we're very pleased with it because it was affordable, only draws a little bit of energy, and chills the van down very quickly. So we're very happy with this purchase, and we will be putting a link into the description of this video if you want to pick one up for your van.
So the fifth upgrade that we made to the van, which we absolutely love and we used a ton when we were just on our road trip out to California, is these bug screens from Living in a Bubble. These bug screens cost us, I think, maybe $175 is what we paid for these. And considering that most other bug screens are $600 to $700, we think this is a great deal. And another thing that we love about these bug screens is that they're not permanent. So with the other bug screens, you have to unscrew all of this stripping here, and then the bug screen is permanently attached to your van, which we didn't really like because we're not using it all the time. Like today, you know, we don't need the bug screen to be up right now. So these just use magnets, and I'll show you in just a second how that works. This one is the one that goes here, And we also have one in the back of the van, and we leave that one up all the time. Let me show you how this works. So it came in these really nice bags. There's one bag like this for each bug screen. And then these just have a ton of magnets. So bear with me, the magnets are all wanting to stick together right now, as you can tell. So these just magnet on like this. And then these are all magnets as well. It doesn't have a zipper. But yeah, we highly recommend these living in a bubble bug screens. And yeah, they're very affordable, very easy to set up and take down. They're not permanent, which is awesome if you don't need bug screens all the time, which we definitely do not. And yeah, easy to store. And then when you're done with it, you just pull it down, just like that. That's it, done. They're pretty awesome, highly recommend. And we'll put a link in the description below this video.
Okay, so the sixth item on our list for this video is going to be our floor carpeting. So come on in a little bit closer here and let me show you. Originally the van came with just this flooring right here and these L-tracks, and while that is pretty easy to sweep up or to vacuum pretty quickly, we were noticing it was getting pretty dirty, and dirt, especially in the desert, was really like getting caught in like the little rivets. And occasionally we would need to get down on the floor with a deck brush to get it cleaned. So we needed to figure out a way to help keep the van a little bit cleaner. So we started off with just getting like this little doormat, and we got a little runner here. But even that just like wasn't fully doing the trick because we still had a lot of exposed area. And that's when we discovered the indoor-outdoor carpet rolls at Home Depot. And as you can see here, these things are great. We bought a 6x6 piece for $26, and they're really thin, so it was really easy to just cut up with an X-Acto knife to fit the dimensions of our van. Because right now we just have this indoor-outdoor carpet in the front side of the van, and basically it goes in the entranceway, it goes into our little hallway, and then it goes back underneath the fridge. And so far this has been great. Like for example, when we went to the desert, we could literally see all the desert sand inside the rug. We just pulled it out, threw it in the washing machine, and boom, it was like new. We put it back in the van. We just gave the original flooring a quick sweep, and everything was all clean again. So this was an excellent, and in my opinion, essential upgrade to your van to keep it clean when you're traveling in it short or long term. It was so cheap, so easy, and you can choose how long you want it. They all come 6 feet wide, so I think they do have some larger rolls, but I think for pretty much any van the 6 feet would be enough, and then you can just choose the length. So it was super easy, affordable, and comes in multiple different colors, so you don't have to do the slate gray like we did. But highly recommend getting this for the flooring of your van. It also feels really nice on your feet, because then you're just not touching like the floor directly. So can't really say enough about how awesome this upgrade has been, and we highly recommend stopping by Home Depot and getting an indoor-outdoor carpet for your van.
Alright, so thank you guys so much for coming along with us today. We really enjoyed showing you guys the new upgrades we've made to the van. We hope that you guys found this video informative. If you guys liked any of the things in the video today, the links to all of these products will be in the description. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, Samantha and I really appreciate you guys being here. Really appreciate you guys watching our videos. if you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and share. Samantha and I would be very grateful. It helps out the channel a ton. And thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.